It is 4:50 a.m. January the 18th, 2023. And I had a vision dream about my aunt and uncle's land, where my cousin lives too now. And in my dream, I was in the smaller house that was next to the big house on their land. It's a mobile home. I've been there in my dreams before, fighting demons. And I was there, and I was spending the night in it, and there was lightning and thunder outside, and trying to think of it in order if I forget. There was a body of water, but it was closer in my dream than it is in reality. In reality, there's a large river that is across the street from the house. But in my dream, I mean, it seemed like it was closer, the water. And it seemed like it was salt water. The house was shaking. The house was shaking, like it was gonna fall apart. And I kept thinking that it was going to end up in the water. That I was gonna end up in the water. If I went to sleep in that house, that I was gonna wake up floating in the water. I didn't know if I was gonna be in the house or just floating, but I felt like it was falling apart, and it was like a downward slope to the water. And I thought I was going to slide down in it. And there were people out side of it, and they saw me look out, and they said, "Oh, there's the girl that we're watching out for." And they were talking about me. And all of a sudden, I mean, I could see the flashes of lightning and thunder, and I could see the house rumbling. And then at one point, the top of the house blew apart, and rain was coming down into it. This is very similar to the last dream I had about that house, where the whole roof came off. That time, there was a dove in the air, but this time there was rain coming down inside of the place. And as soon as that happened, my uncle was there to help me. In real life, he just passed away not too long ago. We started getting everything out of the place. A bunch of my stuff was in there, and a bunch of my cousin's stuff was in there with his ex-wife's stuff. So we were going through it, and in my dream I had things that belonged to my grandparents, and I was giving them to my aunt and uncle. Then there was a lady that I don't know. She was standing in the kitchen. And my cousin was there. He's a boy, Jason. He was there too, and he was trying. I just remembered part of it. There were people coming after us, and him and I got into a rig, and bullets were flying, and I could feel the shards of glass hitting my body. And Jason was on the floorboard, and he kept going, "Come down further, come down further." So my whole body was in there, and then I knew the guy was coming. Oh my gosh, I think I'm out of order on this. There's a part that I just don't want to forget. And he, oh, okay, that's right. Okay. So, the bullets are flying, the glass is hitting the back of me, because I'm like, my stomach is, I'm laying on the seat, and my face is by the steering wheel, and I'm trying to get as far down as I can. And I can see by the look on his face that somebody's approaching the vehicle. He has a handgun, and he points the gun and fires. And I turned and looked, and it was this man that wasn't white. I think he might have been Hispanic, but I'm not for sure. And he had dark hair, and he was probably in his late 30s, early 40s. He had caught the bullet in his teeth. He got me out of the vehicle and chained me to this demonic looking being. It was black, and it was kind of small, and the chain that it had around me was black. It was around my wrist, just on one hand, and it was laughing. And I spun it around. It was small too. It was probably 12 inches tall. And I swung it around and flung it. And then at some point, hold on, I gotta sit down. Okay, it's going again. I flung it off, and it went flying. Then Jason, how did we get that thing? Gosh, it was so long. We ended up getting this device, but it only worked if we both were holding on to it at the same time. And it was black, and when we both held it, it lit up, kind of a bluish white. And my cousin told me that to run into he named the forest, and I can't remember, the dark forest, or run into he said, you'll know what to do. And then there were words that we had to recite, and I wish I remember what they were, but I don't. Oh, this freaking giant creature comes out. This thing dwarfs over us. It looks like a Bigfoot on steroids. It was like 12 feet tall and probably 800 pounds, 900 pounds. Huge block teeth. Had this great big thick chain, and it was whipping this chain around. And it grabbed Jason and started just throwing him around. It was whipping the chain around first, and then it grabbed Jason and started flinging him around. I thought he was gonna die. He was just getting manhandled, and I didn't know what to do, and the thing didn't work just with me. It had to be both of us holding this thing together. And this thing got, at one point, when the thing did light up, we had to say these words together, and he knew the words by heart, but he ended up showing me on this device the words that we had to say. Forgot about that part. Anyway, this thing's got this huge chain. I mean, the chain links were like that thick. And I don't know, as round as the bottom of a soup bowl. It was huge, and it was just flinging it around like it weighed 2 pounds. And I was freaking out. I thought it was breaking every bone in his body, because he looked limp. And somehow I made that thing light up by myself. And I said some words, and it literally froze it into this sign, like the kind that you see at a national park, you know, with the name of the park on it. And, you know, it literally froze into one of those signs. I don't know how else to tell you. And then I woke up, and I feel like it's symbolic, and I'm not sure exactly how to piece it together. There was so much more that you know, like at one point I'm you know, people are taking stuff out of this house, and we're boxing it up right after, you know, the roof came apart. And I gave this giant cookbook to my aunt, and I gave this chair that belonged to my grandfather. I gave it to my cousin. I mean, it had my whole family in it. It means something. I know it does. I'm just not sure exactly what. But I wanted to get it down before I forgot. And I guess that's it. Okay, I'm over and out. I'm going back to bed. I'm so tired. Thanks for listening. Yeah, if I remember any more, I'll video it.